The late 1970s and early 1980s are commonly known as the golden age of gaming. This is mostly due to the era being the first time video games really made it big. Within a short span of time, gaming had turned into a multi-million-dollar industry, and we all know how that story played out. But now we face a new era, the golden age of virtual reality, and it's being led by this device, the Oculus Quest. So let me jump right into this review, and I'll talk about what this headset means to VR in just a bit. First, I have to say, the unboxing experience is really nice. You've got a well thought out design with hard cardboard that could honestly be used as a case if you really wanted to. You're given everything that you need to get started, and this includes the wall charger, a USB Type-C charging cable, the new touch controllers, 2 AA batteries, a spacer for glasses, and of course the headset. Setup was extremely easy, and all you really need is your phone, a Wi-Fi connection, and your play space. The Oculus app guides you through the entire process, and you get to play a few little fun experiences, and then you're off to the new Oculus home screen. The Quest feels really nice in hand and has some premium feeling materials. The new touch controllers have a rubberized coating and are smaller than the previous iteration, which I've enjoyed so far. The headset has a nice cloth-like exterior and plastic front plate. The OLED display provides a resolution of 1440 by 1600 per eye, which is honestly a pretty impressive resolution. When you consider the Vive Pro and Valve Index are significantly more expensive and require a PC to power them, but have the same resolution, I have to say I'm impressed. The downside of this OLED display is that it runs at a 72Hz refresh rate. Powering this whole beast, you have a Snapdragon 835, and that's about a 2-year-old phone processor running the whole show. So what does this all mean? Well, I honestly didn't notice much of a difference going from the 90Hz refresh rate on my Oculus Rift, but I did notice a huge improvement in visual clarity from the two. The screen door effect is still there, don't get me wrong, but is really only super noticeable in dark shots where you could see a green screen door looking visual artifact, and is greatly improved over first-gen PC VR headsets. Onto the graphics side. So obviously the Quest isn't going to provide the same graphical fidelity as a high-end PC and tethered headset, and there are going to be future VR titles that will never come to the Quest due to this limitation. Is that a big problem though? Well, for me, no. The Quest is essentially its own little unique package, and comparing something like graphics to PC's graphics only does it a disservice. So far, the games that I have played not only look fine, but actually impress me with the quality of graphics being pushed by that little Snapdragon. Games like Journey of the Gods run flawlessly, yet still manage to provide a beautiful image. Tracking. So, I've been dealing with sensors for years now. They're annoying, to say the least. That's gone with the Quest, and I can't tell you how liberating both no sensor setup and no tether really feels like in VR. You essentially have 4 little cameras on the device that provide you with 6 depths of field tracking to your headset and controllers. Yeah, the tracking isn't perfect. Here you can see as I test out the Insight system's worst spots, moving my hands behind me and above my head, you can clearly see its limitations. But in all of my playtime so far, I've really only had problems with grabbing shotguns behind my back in Robo Recall. It just took me a few minutes to relearn how to play and not hit the dead spot, and I was honestly fine. Another problem the tracking has is moving the controllers too close to your face, but I haven't had a scenario where I actually did this in a game, so it's a non-issue for me. Lighting is another thing to consider. Complete darkness, and the cameras are going to have a hard time tracking. Direct sunlight or bright direct lights will have the same issue, but anywhere in between and you're golden. Battery life. So I played my Quest until it completely died, and I got 3 hours and 34 minutes of complete gameplay session. Not bad. Of course, I wish it had a little longer battery life, but I can't complain too hard. There aren't a ton of VR games available at launch, but the ones we do have are absolute time sinks. I already have a video on the top games I recommend for Quest owners, so go check that one out if you're interested in good launch games. And on to the biggest problem, audio. Now, I sort of understand why Oculus went with this design over the headphones on the Rift, but at the same time, it makes absolutely no sense. The audio is honestly kind of garbage. I often play with the floor fan, and with just the headstrap audio, I almost can't even hear the game. And in a completely quiet environment, the audio has no bass presence, is tinny, and overall is just too quiet. Yeah, I just throw on a pair of headphones for a good audio experience, but it just feels like a big misstep to have to go through this on a completely wireless system. Headphones fit over the strap easily, and these old HyperX Cloud 2s fit the bill just fine. So the Quest is here, it's making waves, and it's bringing tons of new people into VR. The negatives, you're not going to have the highest quality graphics possible, the stock audio is horrible, and the tracking isn't perfect. On paper, those may sound kind of bad, but in actuality, we have an amazing headset that challenges the very basis of what VR is and how we enjoy it. It's an incredible device that has near PC VR results for a fraction of the cost and provides an experience that in some ways is even better than anything we have on PC. The wireless nature of the Quest is insanely freeing, and the display itself is extremely clear, and what it loses in raw power makes up in the actual VR feeling you have while playing with it. I can 100% absolutely recommend the Oculus Quest to anyone interested in VR, even if you already have a VR headset. And there are certainly going to be times that I use the Quest over my PC VR setup just due to the convenience and streamlined experience. It's that good. And before I go, I want to tell a quick story that really sums up what the Quest is amazing at. My father-in-law is a straight-up cowboy, and he certainly doesn't play video games on any regular basis. I brought him over to the house about a year ago to show him how cool Robo Recall was and how awesome VR was, and he was completely hooked. He played for hours, and when finished, he asked how much it would cost for me to build him a PC and get him hooked up with the whole VR setup. And that's how powerful VR is. It has the possibility to completely change someone's world. I never ended up building a PC for him, as he learned how expensive it can be and how much room you really need to dedicate to it. But that's the incredible part of this headset. For a relatively cheap buy-in cost, anyone can have a full 6 degrees of freedom VR experience anywhere. Almost anyone can become a kid again in VR, and all the industry had to do was lower the boundaries that it takes to get into VR. And that's exactly what the Quest does. It brings virtual reality to anyone at the same price as a traditional console, and kind of challenges what the real values are in this industry if we want it to go big. Well, thanks guys, I hope you enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and join up in my Discord. Thrill signing off.